Yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm Anna. I live in Austin, Texas. I've spent over 20 years in tech with experience at Apple, Zello, and few startups here in the US and outside of the US. Yes, I'm a ICF certified coach, and I run Broadcast, a YouTube channel for tech professionals in the US. I've been on both sides of the hiring table as a hiring manager and recruiter, and as a candidate. And also, I've coached hundreds of PM through job search. So I have really a lot of things to share today.
Thank you. Um, you know, I guess like I thought the first question would be, how you can describe the current job search market, especially for the PMs. But I think it's like the question is so much bigger because there is a lot of discussion everywhere, how the job is changing and how hard it is for people to land the job today, even to land an interview. But we'll get to that maybe a few minutes later. But like, what is the state of the current market for PMs?
Yeah, I did do research specifically for this session. I do research all the like every time I have some important topics to share, and before each session, definitely. And I dig deeper into the tech market yesterday. So, and I got to the statistics not published by platforms selling PM courses. So this is two different statistics. If you can find, like for example, if you read Lenny Rachinsky,
Yeah.
he talks about some just fancy stuff like, oh, PM is growing, like blah blah blah. But yeah, let's dig into different independent statistics from Statista, labor market data, layoffs, FYI, like and other platform, not from those who are interested in populating PM courses and education. So in 2026, tech layoff surged. You probably noticed that, especially for the last quarter. It was like more than 1,100
Yeah,
workers
it
had been laid
really
off.
has been surging for the past, what, 4 years since
Yeah, but it it
2022.
it it
It went up in
fluctuates. Yeah, it's been fluctuating, and last quarter was like by May, more than 100,000 workers had been laid off. So that's actually the highest since
May this year,
early,
right? 2026,
yes,
we're talking, yeah.
2023. Yeah. So the tech sector unemployment rate hits 5.8%.
Just
That's the
huge.
highest since dot-com bust. And the average time to find a job has grown from 3 months, like on average, to 5 months, almost doubled, almost doubled for the last few years.
I'm
So,
sure a lot of people on this call will say I've been looking for 8 months, 10 months, or more than a year.
yeah, this is average.
Okay,
Includes
yeah.
some fancy AI engineers. So, at the same time, you can see that open PM's role are actually high, 3 years high. And what happens? This is selective recovery. I'll tell you about that. So it concentrates around these four niches. First is AI adjacent. So you have to be AI native product manager, period. That's it. Yeah. No questions about that. Growth. So you have to own a funnel from acquisition to retention, running experiments, and so on. Third is senior and above. Unfortunately, junior PMs are not in favor right now, and it's really hard to start career in product management. And the fourth one that a lot of people skip is like deep specialization, like platform PM, internal infrastructure, development tools, B2B enterprise SaaS, complex sales cycles, like etc. Some
Never
health
for
tech.
generalists.
Yes, no more generalists. That's the point. So generalist positions are ones being cut off right now. So and in the past, when you were laid off from Meta as a generalist, you can go to different companies like Google and being hired at Google. But today, what's happening today, the role is not disappearing from one company, it's disappearing from the industry. AI is absorbing the work that used to justify those headcounts. So you should um, you should take these four pillars when you think about your career. So
Uh-huh.
AI, growth, uh, seniority, and try if you're not senior, like try to do that, and niche.
So the quick question that I kind of wanted to wait with AI till like later, but I will ask you because AI native is like that's a term that is widely used, but what is an AI native PM basically? It's the platform, it's the PM that knows how to vibe code, or is it a PM who knows how to, use ChatGPT to write a PR, things like that?
Not as simple as just using ChatGPT, definitely. Putting that AI tools on your resume like ChatGPT is not enough. You need to show how you solve problem with AI. What's possible right now, what hasn't been possible before. It might be, for example, you make your testing faster. You have some real quality of insight from the data. You test and build prototypes 10 times faster. Like you validated 10 times more hypotheses as before AI. So it means that you use AI for your work to accelerate your work. And
I'll then ask a follow-up question because that has popped up like over months, multiple times, and I don't know if like there might be people on the call who heard us discuss this already, but if not, what we heard is during the interview, a PM might be asked to vibe code something. So show me the prototype. Do not just, talk about something. Let's do it as we go, as we speak. Do you know how often that, because I hear there is a tendency for growth and there are so many more questions like this that are being asked or like real things in real time being done. If you could confirm
they
that.
might be asked to vibe code, and I really convince you to open Cursor or something, Cloud Code, and do that. And it's really simple. It's simpler than you
Yeah,
actually think about it. It's so simple, really. Like
yeah,
when I
it is.
started vibe coding, I think, oh my God, yeah, I created a post like recently that I've been spending 10 years convincing engineers to do something. And now I can vibe code to validate my
Yeah,
hypothesis.
prototypes really are easy to
Yeah,
be
it's
created.
so easy, really. Like, and it makes you really strong in this world. If you don't do that, you will lose this game.
I want to take us, slightly back to the beginning of the conversation because we started speaking about the current state of affairs on the market. And the question that I have is the most common thing, at least again, that I hear through these calls and just talking to people. I sent a resume or I wrote to someone or I applied through whatever, let's say LinkedIn or any other resource, and there is nothing, or I've heard nothing for months. What is wrong? Like, why does that happen?
The market is tough. Yeah, the market changed significantly since you looked for a job last time. Like, for example, if you looked for a job in like 2021 after COVID, that was a boom of search of like jobs for any tech professionals like product managers, engineers, etc. So, but now it's a tough time for all positions, not only for PMs but for all positions. So, what's happening is that if you haven't received any feedback from recruiters, you definitely need to understand your strategy. So, what's wrong? Like, go as a product manager, you have a funnel. Like users can land to your landing page, do some actions like I don't know, like create a account, do something like purchase, pay money, etc. So this is a funnel. The same you can apply to your job search. So you create a resume, you publish this resume somewhere, or you send this resume. Then you have a calls from recruiter. If you don't have the call from recruiter, something missing between your resume and the recruiter. So it might be the strategy, it might be a resume itself. So try to first check your resume. So the
And
most
then,
resume are
yeah,
also written for a
by AI.
generalist by
Yeah, or
AI
by AI.
yeah, and as a generalist, like, oh, I own the roadmap. I think with engineers, I write specifications, something like that. A lot of resume are look like that. So no, this doesn't work right now. So you have to be really goal oriented. You have to have these AI tools on your resume. You have to have growth metrics on your resume. You have to have specializations. You have to have to show the seniority. Mean that you can think wide. You can make decision without authority, etc. That's all those like four pillars should be in your resume.
So for example, like for if I was a growth PM, I kind of can understand, like because we all speak about result oriented, and I think that's the information that is like easily accessible these days. But if we speak about the specifics, even again, if we go back to this AI native thing, and I think there is a question here too about AI native, but how do I, if most people, I'm not saying everybody, but the majority is probably on the same level. People started vibe coding over the last year and a half, give or take.
Mhm.
So and then let's say at work we don't use it at all. So I have my project that I built with Lovable or like Curso, something like that, but it's my personal project. So on the one hand, yes, I'm familiar with the tool. I can build whatever product or a prototype. But on the other hand, like I don't even know how I can display it. How can I explain myself? Like, how do you put that on a resume that yes, I have the experience, but then where you can also prove that this is real experience, that not related or tied to your previous job?
Apply AI to your real job. Like, for example, optimize your routine. You probably can do that as your real work. I don't know, like analyze data, create specifications, schedule meeting, create chatbots for gathering some feedback from users. So, like any routine work, you can optimize with AI. Create that AI agent for yourself at work. So, and put it on your resume. If you cannot, for some reason, I know that companies are different. For some reason, you cannot use other tools at your work except that you're provided by your company. Do your own project, create your a website. I don't know, like implement what you really want. So I created multiple websites and chatbots just for myself, for
Yeah,
like
but you
running.
can show that. But
Yeah.
would you say you can add, because we had those discussions previously multiple times too, like, do you create like a so-called portfolio? Do you link that to your resume? Like, when is an appropriate time to show it? And also, how do you do it? Do you just put a link? This is my, like, I don't know, blah, 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 Natasha.Gorodetsky, something, something, and the link to my personal page that was created with one of the AI tools? Or like, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, portfolios actually became more and more important for any roles, not only just for product managers, for designers, for designers,
It was always
everybody
the
understand,
AI.
yeah, but for engineers, for like DevOps, I've heard like for QA, so everyone should have like their mini websites or like page or something, a mini portfolio to show the real work because everybody knows that resumes are created by AI. It's not an interesting topic. So if you can show a real product, your portfolio, on your resume, just put a link, my portfolio, my website, like
That's
something.
useful. Yeah.
And
And
Anna,
also your LinkedIn. Don't forget about your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your portfolio. It might be your portfolio. Just create website, products, put it on your LinkedIn, ask people to test it, show the results, implement analytics, show these analytics. Like, use your LinkedIn as your connection with recruiters and potential companies. Show that you really do something with AI. And
Anna,
what,
for
yeah, yeah.
the guys
quick.
with the questions, we'll start a little bit later. So please hold on. I will just, wrap up this kind of initial stage, and then you're more than welcome to ask, and we'll be happy to hear from all of you. I just like have a couple of follow-ups. So resume and LinkedIn. How much do they have? Because one is not equal the other, right? So how much do they have to match? And then what goes on a resume and what goes on LinkedIn? And what are the biggest mistakes that people make with both?
It should be identical. It should
Okay.
be identical, and you should put your LinkedIn URL to your resume, because this not having a LinkedIn on your resume is a red flag for many recruiters. I've asked recruiters about that. And if you have a LinkedIn, especially if you're a product manager, you have to have a LinkedIn. So put the LinkedIn and be sure that the information is almost identical. Yeah. So I mean that what should match, like your jobs, positions, dates of the jobs, your education. It might be a little bit more information on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can put a big description on the about section. It's 26,100 characters. So you can really put a lot of information about yourself. You can add a lot of skills. So just more extensive portfolio and resume than resume itself. So, but it should be identical. It
So
should tell
when,
the same story.
sorry, so when a recruiter, let's say, because let's say there was a headhunter, but that's in a good case, but still, somebody comes across your LinkedIn page, either hiring manager or a headhunter or a recruiter, and what are the things that they look at really quickly as they're scanning? So, for example, they're looking for a growth PM uh, with 5 years of experience. Other than that, what would they be looking at?
Your headline.
Your
The
headline.
headline is number one. That's visible for everyone.
So
So, and
companies, so what should go there then?
headline should briefly tell about your positioning, like product manager, 5 years of experience, domain,
Mhm.
health tech, wearable devices, AI native or something.
I'll
That's
tell
it.
you
Like
what, also I'm
technology.
asking,
Yeah, yeah.
because even earlier today, and that's my problem as well. So I'm like not being, very unique. AI has been so overused, right? And I work with startups too, like every startup that pitches, they're AI driven, AI wonderful, AI something, AI whatnot. So it kind of has stopped being an edge and a differentiator, right? So how on the one hand you can say or mean that you're AI native, but on the other hand, don't sound like a million other people who are putting that in your headline these days, because that's my problem too. Like I do have this AI thing that I stuck in there 2, 3 years ago, but what does it really mean and like how to make it sound serious or sound professional or really differentiate you from many, many other people as PMs?
The issue, if you don't put AI to your resume,
So you
you
still have to
won't be
have it.
selected. Yeah, yeah. You won't be selected. That's the
Okay.
reason, and
Then
it
don't worry.
doesn't mean that it's overwhelmed. It's just the trend. You
Mhm.
have to have this one, and then when the recruiters or hiring managers want to dig deeper, you have to explain, like come back, like what I told about, like how did you use AI to optimize your work, to make your work more productive, to help business to growth, like etc. So how you use to use AI for business needs.
I will, I'll start taking questions from the chat. I really want others to ask, and then I can jump in with more because I have endless amount of questions, and we can have this conversation for 3 hours. But there is, so I see the question about a senior PM. I will though ask one first that is about LinkedIn because we started talking about it. How do you update it, considering we optimize each resume for each job role, and should we really optimize it for every role?
This is a good question. Coming back to the topic of generalist,
Mm-hmm.
you have to select your niche and your positioning, who you are in the market, your differentiator in the market. So that's why when you select, like, for example, if you have experience in health tech or like fintech, you definitely know a lot about this niche. Like talking about fintech, what can it be like? Processing financial products. I don't know, like payment systems, payment data, regulatory trade-off, fraud, like a lot of small pieces around the fintech product managers. Put all those keywords on your resume and make your positioning for the fintech product managers. Select companies that in this niche focus on these companies and just select 15, 20 companies and just create your story for these specific companies. It's much better than sending 100 resumes to all that companies, thinking that maybe like company from health tech can hire me because I am just like super cool. No, if you don't have this experience domain like in health tech, just don't waste your time. Focus on your strength and sell yourself to
What
the
if you
companies.
are a generalist in this case? What do you do? What if you've been a generalist for 10 years?
Find a niche,
Okay.
create a niche for yourself. The last company you worked for example, or maybe you have a hobby, or maybe you have something side project. You need to shape
Yeah.
yourself as a like professional specialist.
That makes sense. I will go back quickly to the senior PM question. How do you define a senior PM? I am a PM, have two product owners as direct reports, have a large cross-functional impact across engineering and implementation. Am I considered senior or must I have senior in my title already to apply for senior PM roles? And then I guess that
Oh.
goes, that relates to director and head of and things like this, right? How,
So that's yeah. What's the difference between mid and senior career PMs? That's not only about your years of experience. Yeah, it definitely matters. If you have like 2 years of experience, you can be considered as a senior. But if you have, for example, 5 years of experience, that's on the edge of like senior and middle. So that's what differentiates you is your how you think. So at the senior level, everyone has shipped products, worked with data, worked with stakeholders, but none of that separates you. Like everybody does that. So what you need is to show your specific, honest point of view on hard product problems. So this is how what senior PMs do. Like for example, not I believe in user-centric design. But show the real problem. Like, for example, most B2B onboarding optimizes for buyers who signed the contract, but not the person who really used that. That's why the product fails. That's how senior PMs think. So, and the
but
second one, yeah.
sorry for interrupting. But again, like we just said, recruiters scan your LinkedIn page, for example, if, things have to match. So, going back to the question, if there is no word senior on your LinkedIn or resume, would they look at you or you really have to have this tag?
I think you should have, it definitely helps if you have this tag senior. It's easier for them to understand that you took this role before and this is not a new role because what senior means, it's more responsibility. It's
Right.
more decision making some processes, and especially now when the actually management layers were cut off, senior PMs started driving this decision across teams without even formal authority.
Yeah.
So that's why if you keep this title senior, that definitely helps you to have this senior role. But honestly, not, I cannot, I shouldn't say that, but no, nobody knows if you just put this. If you really feel that you did a senior role, senior PM work, just put that on your resume.
Okay, that
Who
makes sense.
cares? Yeah.
I will let people ask questions. Ishani, I know you raised your hand several times. I will let you jump in if you want to, or whatever works. Oh, you wrote a question. My company gives titles like advisor,
I
which does not
think Anna
indicate.
just answered that question,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine then. Okay, thank you. Uh, if my title has been product owner and product manager and I want to focus on looking for technical POPM roles, should I update my resume and LinkedIn to use technical in my past titles?
I would do that. Technical PMs really makes in more demand right now. If you're technical, you're really in a good spot. So if you're technical, just show that on your resume, on your LinkedIn. You can even put it in your headline, like you technical product manager with like Python knowledge or something like that. So this really a differentiator.
Okay, that makes sense. I
And I
mean,
think, yeah, my thoughts, like just hypothetically, that's what I'm thinking about the future of PMs. I think all PMs will be technical, like, but from the different angle. And with AI and vibe coding, everybody can feel like a developer, solo developer.
you don't
So,
have to be an
and
engineer anymore.
yeah, you don't
Yes
have
and
to
no.
write a code, yeah, but you have to
And
kind of create a product, you know. And I'm thinking about like the future of tech because on the other side, I worked with engineers who really like scared about that. Oh,
that being
product managers don't need us. We are not in the most demand people in the room. So product manager can run experiments without us. They are
It's
also
like,
scared.
I think that's the uncertainty this time, honestly, because I hear that, it's like a mutual fear because a
Yes,
lot of
yeah.
PMs are saying, well, now engineers can use, they can use chat parody or some other things and they can,
Mm-hmm.
write the documents and they can do a lot of things that product people used to do. Same thing comes to designers. I think something is merging into
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
role,
I
probably.
think, yeah, we're just shaping in a really new, different role. It should be like product slash engineer. So something like that. And I think for product managers is even easier because acquiring hard skills is easier than acquiring soft skills. So
Totally.
for us, for product managers, becoming an engineers with vibe coding is easier than for engineers becoming product managers because they need to acquire soft skills.
Yeah. And yeah, product sense is something that is really.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we really like consolidate in the process of consolidating between roles, and nobody knows what's going to be in the
There is a
future.
good comment actually here. I think engineers can still vibe code in one-fourth the token cost, which I do agree compared to non-technical PMs. That is the differentiate. But I think like non-technical PMs are learning how not to use all the tokens and how to be much more efficient and smarter and better with
And we
prompt.
don't know how much tokens will cost in the future. We don't know. So it might be really cheap. We don't know. It might be
Sam Altman said we're going to be paying like for tokens like electricity for AI. Like
yeah,
it is. Who knows? That
yeah.
things change so quickly that might happen.
And even now, if you have a Cloud Code Max for $200, I don't know what you should do to just use all the tokens. You should vibe code like 24/7.
I made an experiment a month, like less than a month ago. I'm still on this pro. So I was like on $20 version for a couple of years. And then I switched to $100 one because I started using more and more of like Claude code and things like that. Like doing, like I built an operating system for myself, like became a
Hmm.
much more sophisticated setting. And I'm not, so I don't know, like I'm nervous now because I'm like, okay, either I'm doing something wrong or I do get a ton of tokens for this $100 because I haven't used them up. And I'm now thinking, okay, should I go back to 20 or should I keep this? Like, it's like an interesting experiment because I'm really using it constantly and running a lot of my work on using my operating system now, but it's like it's an interesting time. And there was actually a related question to AI and AI project on the resume or like portfolio, how to show impact, because most employees do care about impact. So if you build your personal AI project, how can you show impact? Numbers from two.
Just the same, yeah. Try to measure like or absolute numbers or like relative numbers. Any numbers that can prove that you did something and you had even mini results. So like,
Hannah, I can give
yeah.
more context to the question. So I've been in interview rounds and they've asked me this question that, okay, you built this project, but can you walk us through how did you interact with customer or something like that? But because the projects are not customer facing or because these are homegrown projects, so how do you work around them? And a follow-up, because I'm seeing there are few immigrants on the call. So being an immigrant, I can't really even take these projects out to test it, okay, to get some customers and add those metrics in because as an immigrant, I can't, that's not allowed.
Mhm. I'm not sure about some rules, but you can create a project to show your friends. Like what I did, I created the resume trend scanner, job scanner that I posted recently. It's called Hireable.pro, how hireable you are at the US job market. And that compares your resume technical skills against the market trends. And I posted it on LinkedIn, and in 3 days, 1,000 people viewed these products. And okay, good. And I implemented a lot of some analytics there to check what kind of people check these websites. That's for free. I vibe coded it for like several hours and posted and published it. And what I could do is just download the data and show the percentage of people, percentage of resume that missing some important skills, and show, okay, backend engineers missing, I don't know, MCP that's required so far in the current job market. So at least you can gather feedback from your friends, not selling this product. That's also a data you can show.
And speaking of which, actually, this reminds me of another question. You have a significant following on your LinkedIn, like a really significant following. What should people do? Because you know what often happens when people like product managers have a job or they're at a job at a company, you know, posting on LinkedIn is very often is the last thing that is on their mind, or they do something occasionally on behalf of their company. They don't have their own brand, basically. But then, you know, for example, they're being laid off. Now, okay, how do I get referrals? How do I reach out to people? I have maybe 300 people that are my connections on LinkedIn, or maybe 1,000. Like 1,000 is actually a decent number, like very few hundreds. What do I do? Should people grow their following? Should they start posting 3 times a week, daily? What is the strategy? Because yes, on the one hand, we all know LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool. On the other hand, if you never posted, though you've worked for 16 years, what do you do?
Um, if your goal is to find a referral or somewhere who can just at least check your resume, I can recommend not asking them for a chat coffee. No, I don't think that it's a good option to find a good connection. But what you can do is to check their product, find something like interesting in their product, and create a post. What you could do differently to solve the same problem, for example, like product sense questions. How would you build Twitter differently? Like, how would you build, okay, not Twitter, it's going to be like startup XYZ differently. And post it and tag this startup and tag the founder and comment on them. So attract attention, showing that's your product mindset.
How often do you have to post something like that? Or should, let's say not have to, but should post things and like commenting and like how often should you post, especially when you're in this job search process?
I would do that regularly. If you are in an active stage of job search, it should be your job.
Job.
Yeah, you should do that. Yeah, regularly.
That makes sense. Guys, do you have more? Because I can continue asking, but I just want you, if you want to jump in or post or ask more questions, please do that. That's the opportunity that you have. Because in the meantime, I'll go back to something then that we started the call from is, okay, you've been looking for 6 months. Let's say somebody's looking for 6 months. They change the resume based on job requirements. They post, they try to reach out to referrals, maybe from previous companies and jobs. No response. What happens? How do not get discouraged? And then what do? Like, what should be your next step? Do you reevaluate? Do you hire a coach? Like, what is really there to do? And you need a job.
I really like your post today or
Okay.
yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah.
about hire yourself.
Thank
That's a good point. Oh my God, it's so sunny here. That's I feel like I'm just blind of the sun. So I was laid off 3 years ago, and I struggled to find a job at that time. And I needed money because I'm a solo mom. I don't have family here in the US, and I needed to feed my daughter. I need to pay the bills. And I found I don't remember whose post was it? Like, if you can't find a job, hire yourself. And I remember that, like, oh my God, hire yourself, how smart it is. So, and now I feel like we are in the stage of creating jobs, not of taking the jobs. So if you're a product manager, you're a really smart person, you are an entrepreneur, you can create something, especially now with vibe codes, to at least cover your expenses. Maybe not for being super rich and like billionaire, but at least to cover your expenses. You can create something to pay your bills. So if you cannot find the job for a while, switch your mind to something else, run your small business, try something to cover that, because the worst you can do is to like keep doing the same things and being desperate.
I agree. I can.
And recruiters can feel it. If you're desperate, everyone can feel it. So just switch your mind to something.
I'll just give the context. So we were talking, I posted today announcing this call. This morning I saw Lenny Richinsky. I hope everybody knows and follows him and knows his newsletter and his podcast, because I always refer him at every call we have. He's great. He's a great resource. But he posted something that he ran a poll on his page asking people about their dream companies. So Anthropic, to no surprise, was named number one. But to a big surprise, the number two desired company that people want to work for was self-employed. And That's a huge percentage, actually. So apparently the trend is changing because I've been talking to product managers over the past probably year and a half, meeting them at not necessarily coaching or something, but meeting at different events, especially product related events. A lot of people who were laid off want to do something for themselves. They either look into that or they start doing something on their own. I switched to actually solo preneurship basically and doing product for startups. I've been doing that for a few years already after being in a corporate product, working for startups, having my own startup. I kind of, tried different ways also for certain reasons, I not necessarily looked into that, but just everything kind of is possible. I know it's easier said than done. The entrepreneurship journey is not also a very easy one, but yet it's a possibility. And it was just an interesting post today. So if you want to read more, it's on Lenny's newsletter page, but look into it. It has some interesting statistics. I'll go back. Sorry, I know we're jumping all over, but again, questions come. I wish we had a more smoother flow, but we're trying to do our best and cover as much as we can. There was a question about, I guess it's giving away your ideas for free. And I know the question refers to a previous discussion, but several months ago, we actually spoke about, and I'll connect those two, about the tasks, for example, hiring managers give you at interviews. Sometimes, you can have a take-home task or some assignment that you have to do during the interview itself. And then people are saying like, oh, I do work for free, or I give my information out for free, things like this. What do you think about that? Should you take the task home and do it for 3 days and then present it?
Oh, you mean on the interviews?
Yeah, yeah, during the interview
Oh,
process. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah. It depends. It depends. A lot of people say, don't do that. But sometimes I've seen an example when people did those tasks and get hired.
And then when they do these tests and they not get hired. So I guess
Yes. Yeah. It's really
in
like,
these days, I don't, is there a privilege of refusing to do the task? Do we have it?
definitely you can refuse doing this task,
Okay.
but it doesn't guarantee that you can go to the next stage. So probably not. So I would consider those tasks as a portfolio project. Why not? So for example, if you're asked to do some task for free, you can use this task as your project
Use-
and then
oh,
put it in your portfolio
that's
and
a
put
good,
in your resume. Why not? Like your test project.
yeah, that's a good point, actually. I never thought about it this way. Uh, okay, I'm jumping back, guys. You'll have to bear with
Gi-
me.
give me a few minutes. I close this.
Yeah, yeah, no
uh,
worries. Please
yeah.
do. If you can raise hands, by the way, or just again keep in typing. I hope I'm not missing anything, but I'm just trying to. I see Sam has a question. Hi. Uh, yeah, so Sam, can you bear with me 1 second? There was this comment that is a question also, and this goes a little bit back about as a job seeker, can I afford to not? Sam, it was Sam's question actually. Is that the same question you want to ask? Do you want to ask or you want me to read it? I am fine either
Yes.
way.
Yeah, thanks Anna and thanks Natasha for organizing this. I do not go on LinkedIn. I am quite an experienced person currently looking for a job after being laid off. I don't want to post on LinkedIn. I don't like to read LinkedIn, and it seems like it has resonated with some other folks. Can I afford to not um, post on LinkedIn, like be a content creator on LinkedIn, and still like get a job? In the past, it has worked out for me. But has there anything that has shifted fundamentally about job search right now?
Mm, may I ask you what the reason you're not willing to post on LinkedIn? Um,
Um, I mean, I am not sure what I want to post on LinkedIn. I am not super keen on providing, like, so I think someone mentioned, is not giving away my ideas for free. It has happened to me in the past that I did like a take-home assignment for a company who then did not hire me, saying that I was very expensive or something, and then later on I saw them launch something very, very similar. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to offer my ideas for free. I am not super keen on posting like relatable takes. I'm not like generally posting long posts on any social media. So it does not appeal to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I had to
Uh,
post consistently, like it would be quite a bit of I think like quite a bit of a task for me, apart
mm-hmm.
from dedicating time towards job search.
Mm-hmm. At least what you can have is just well-shaped LinkedIn profile. So everything is filled, yeah. Like you have a photo, you have a like about section, all skills are filled out, all that way. So um, nobody can push you to post on LinkedIn. It's just like how LinkedIn works. If you are active on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is more interested to push your app, like to show your profile against other candidates. Or if you have a content, it works like as SEO on the website. They can find you based on your words you use, on your posts, hashtags, or whatever. It's just, it's not mandatory, but it definitely helps you to be more like
Visible.
searchable. Yeah, for recruiters. But if you don't want that, definitely don't do that. Maybe you can just create something that is not mm, it's not like kind of contradict your um, beliefs. Like I don't know, something articles. Yeah, you can just repost Leni Rachinsky articles with your thoughts. It's not you're not sharing your ideas. You're just sharing your thoughts about some articles or about some news or something like that. Just keep
Something
your,
that
yeah.
resonated with you or the opposite, you disagree, and you don't have to write much. Sometimes that works. I think a lot of problems these days happen, and I get this too. There is a lot of AI generated content, and a lot of it is kind of same old, and it feels like people repeat one thought using more or less the same language, and there
Mhm.
is not that much good quality content, so it's tiring to read it, really. And it's also hard to, get the following because a lot of people like using the same old, kind of using the same words and the same posts and the same way the posts are built and the language used and all those like AI written posts. So I guess that partially might be the reason, but I do agree about reposting. Like that's the easiest way to start, I think. Do like twice a week, repost some article. If you
With
follow
thoughts,
people
yeah. With
with your
thoughts,
thoughts.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Camila, do you want to ask the question or should I read it? Like either way works
Uh,
about this. So, yeah.
I can ask the question. So I work in a very niche industry. I work at a private company, but we develop software for state health departments. So I work on immunization information systems. So if you ever got vaccinated or requested your, you know, vaccine records, you kind of dealt with the system. So, but I really want to get out of government contracting because it has a lot of limitations. Contracts are very long to sign. The technology is outdated. I'm seriously building products that should have died in 1990s. So, and like, but this is my specialty, right? Like, I'm very good with government employees. So I have a niche, right? But I want to get out of the government. Like, how can I maybe get creative and turn that around? Maybe still go to B2B, right, or B2G, but I don't know, but not end up in the same niche that where I'm suffering from the limitations I'm
Mhm.
under, right?
As
So
far
this
as I
is my
understand,
question.
yeah, thanks, Camila, for the question. As far as I understand, your limitation is because of the um, the business you work with, that
Yes.
government limiting you, not the industry like health limiting you.
No, not the
No?
health, just the government being a government
Yeah.
contractor. Yeah.
So you can move from government contractor to health startups, for example, or any even health more like mature and corporate companies, health companies. So there are a lot of jobs in health tech,
Okay.
and it's very in demand right now. And you can choose where you want to work for enterprise, B2B enterprise, SaaS, I don't know, or maybe fancy startups like what is fancy startups? Something like Whoop, yeah, like measuring your heart
Yeah,
rate, all
yeah.
that health
Uh-huh.
data. You
Okay.
can go there. So it depends what you really want. I think you are
Okay.
in a sweet spot right now.
And the market is good for health tech, I
Yes,
think
yeah.
so. And then I
Okay.
assume that startups are looking for or for people who have this government experience because everything is so regulated, and a lot of founders might not know some things that you do know. So that might be your advantage.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's reassuring because I used to think that this is just like I'm so stuck in my government people job. So
No,
okay, thank you so
switch
much.
to a different health project.
I will, guys, just for your information, because we're almost at an hour in a minute, but we started a little bit later. So I will take the question now in the chat, and then I'll have one last question for Anna. What if we did want to escape an industry specialization and pivot into something else? Any advice for that scenario?
Pivot from the industry and stay at
From
PM,
job.
or like escape from PM jobs at all, or like from tech
No,
industry.
the first one. So just because what you just said to Camila was, well, you don't want to change your industry, you just want to change the government side. So I'm just curious, what if you want to stay a PM, but you do want to change the industry?
That's actually my case. I've never been in HR tech, but HR tech always been my passion. That's how I switched to HR tech. I started building my own project on site and starting talking about HR technology, researching, exploring, launching few pet projects, exploring how ATS works, like all that's aside, like HR tech. I've never been employed as a HR tech, but I put HR tech in my LinkedIn because I really wanted to be in HR tech. That's how this transition happened for me. Just fake it till you make it.
So the
Yeah.
job that you're basically about to start is
Yeah, it's
okay.
HR tech. Yeah. And I've never had this experience. I built it from scratch because of my passion.
That's great.
It's
First
not
of
a
all,
quick, yeah, it's not a quick transition, but you can like work in parallel, working as a PM at the industry you don't like and want to escape, and in parallel building that new niche for you. And then if like that's a good time for you, just switch from one industry to another industry.
I will ask you the last question. I'll be like, was it Tim Ferriss a while ago that he was asking those questions at the end of his podcast? In the next 72 hours, it might not be him, but so if there was one thing you would recommend people do in the next, let's say, 48 to 72 hours to get closer to this job of their dreams, or just to get a job, what would that be? What's the action item?
I like this exercise being zoom in and zoom out. It's also from product management. I think everybody knows that. So when you get stuck in something, just zoom out. Look around and think how you can do that differently. And then zoom in, try that, and then zoom out again. So I really do like this exercise with like myself. So trying to find a new way to do that. Maybe the new opportunities is super close, but I don't see it. Or like something's happening around me, but I just don't look around. So you cannot find a job for the next 24 hours or 36 hours or whatever, like, but you can relax and just maybe find something new ideas for um, your next race, marathon race. Yeah.
It is a marathon, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to close, but if we have a minute, one last question that I'm taking. How do you explain a gap in employment?
How much is the gap? If it's like 6 months, it's not a
Yeah,
gap.
so 6+ months.
If it's before less than 6 months, it's not a gap. Like everybody understands how the market is. If it's like even like 9 months, it's not a gap. But if it's 1 year and more, I would add my side projects. I would start building something on site, run my own business or startups or anything. Just helps me to just
Even
show.
volunteering,
Yeah,
right?
I would do like real project that I can apply and show that I'm not losing my knowledge.
Yeah, but you can do volunteering in like even
Yeah,
we spoke about it last time doing like working for startup accelerators, for example. Sometimes they look for mentors and you can
yeah.
do like product management mentorship and you can use the companies or use cases from there on your resume. At least
Okay,
that,
yeah. So it should strengthen your resume. This
right.
gap should help you to show your next employer that you're not
Yeah, I didn't mean
losing.
like
Yeah,
school PTO. I have nothing
I
against
know.
that. I mean, it's all great,
Yeah,
but like not necessarily that, but yeah, something that
yeah.
relates to the job
hmm
itself.
But I would really do my own project,
Yeah,
and you can even like earn money on that. Or maybe you can pivot to a startup founder. Who
yeah,
knows? Who
yeah.
knows? Just yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Anna, thank you so much. And
Thank you
really,
for
it
asking
was
a
very
question.
helpful. And good luck on your new path and your new journey. And everyone saying to you, I hope like the summer treats everybody well. And I know this market is also kind of gets weird during the summer. Sometimes it slows down, but sometimes the opposite. People are still looking. So I really wish everyone to get those interviews and jobs and responses to the resumes and lots of good luck.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks, Natasha, for inviting me. Please add me on LinkedIn. You can find me by my first name and last name, or maybe Natasha share my LinkedIn. Let's stay in touch and help each other.
And connect
And
with each other too.
yes,
I
yeah,
always say that that sometimes helps to grow that following on the one hand, and then,
absolutely, yeah,
everybody's in the same boat. People are all in product and looking for jobs, and sometimes just chatting and having this conversation about like where you are, you want to practice mock interviews, things like that, that could help too. So
yeah.
everything works. And have a great week, everyone. Uh,
Thank you.
see you later. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.